Well, it's time for another episode of Doodles. Hi, I'm your host, Joe Doodle. You know, I remember my formative years in the 70s. It was a time that was certainly not perfect, but here's a sort of poem to the things that seemed better then, and it goes like this. Lots of things are worse now and lots of things are better. Lots of things were worse back then, but lots of things were better. I remember when I remember, we made things in this country. People shopped in their hometown because there were lots of small businesses on Main Street. Only one parent needed to work to support a whole family. Farms was smaller. Attention spans were longer. Porn wasn't mainstream. And interest in other cultures was called appreciation, not appropriation. Only rock stars could afford heroin. There wasn't a cop in every little school building. Kids walked to school. And kids played in playgrounds without adults running things for them. You didn't need 403Bs and IRAs because you had a solid pension. College was affordable. People didn't need all these darn credit cards either. And churches was always unlocked. And didn't have all these gated communities either. People cared about the common good. People were kind to strangers. People could talk about politics. I remember when I remember. I exaggerate and oversimplify, but these things were so. And if you want any of it to return, you have to know what made it go. And it wasn't because of free markets and small government. It was because big business was reined in, because unions kept them nice. Wages were much higher compared to profits and price. Wall Street was weaker and so was K Street. Big money paid more taxes. Average folk paid less of these. I remember when I remember. We weren't going to send our boys off to die in third world quagmires anymore. Soldier was an occupation, not a saint. There was a large middle class. And businesses didn't chase low wages and no regulation overseas. People were more important than profit. And people had more shared mass experiences. Poverty and homelessness was everyone's concern. People were generally skinnier. And being a woman or a man wasn't defined by your clothes and your hair. Men could be kind, caring, and compassionate, and they could still be men. And music was about peace, love, and understanding. The weather wasn't all over the place on a day-to-day basis. Pollution was fought. Coke wanted to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. And guns were concealed, but faces was open. And there weren't all these mass shootings. And video games were sports and not gun battles. Superheroes weren't killers. No, superheroes were cops and not soldiers. And there was money for public education. We were signing new nuclear reduction treaties, not dropping out of them. And there weren't any fighter jet flyovers at sporting events, and the flag didn't have to be escorted by a military honor guard. I remember when I remember. Free markets were the enemy of that good old day, brought to you by unions and brought to you by regulation. When markets got the upper hand, it went away. Black, brown, red, yellow, white, and immigrant. I want an America that works for all of us. Not because we're the same, but because we're all different.